statement. So a reporter asks Comer and Nancy Mace and others up there, so have the survivors told you that Trump is exonerated? Did you hear that from the survivors? And then Nancy Mace says, yes, I did. The reporter goes, well, they've only told me that they would actually like to see Donald Trump questioned. To which Nancy Mace said, I've never heard that from a single victim. Okay, well, why don't you then tell us which person has been saying this to you, Nancy Mace, because that's not what is actually out there. So here's the exchange that took place. Let's play it.
Today, I was very impressed with where this went today.
Nancy, can I ask you, when the survivor said to you that President Trump is exonerated?
Yes.
You've only ever told me you want to see him questioned.
Nope, I've never heard that from a single victim.
When we met, so next the reporter asks Comer and the MAGA Republicans, why is it so important to hear from Bill Clinton but not Donald Trump? Why does that make sense to you? To which they all say, well, it's obvious. Donald Trump was never on Epstein's plane. Bill Clinton was on Epstein's plane. Time out, pause. Donald Trump was on Epstein's plane like all the time, or at least 8 times that we know of in the Epstein files. The federal prosecutors send a message to each other saying, we want to let you know that we've identified that Trump is on Epstein's jet during the period of time we would intend to be charging Elaine Maxwell with more times than any of us previously expected. We also know there were times where Epstein was on Donald Trump's plane, although we don't have Trump's flight logs. We have heard reports in the past that there were girls of indeterminate age with Epstein and Trump on Trump's airplane in the past as well. So why are you just making up that only Bill Clinton was on the jet? Trump was on the jet, I think, way more than Clinton. Here, play this clip.
Wait, real quick, if I can also just add into that.
If that's the case, though, you make the case, the chairman makes the case, but why it was so important to hear in great detail from both Clintons, but why it's not.
If I can just elaborate real quick.
He was on Epstein's plane 26 flights.
Hold on.
I mean, he had information with them for hours and hours, lots
Real
of
quick,
all the
Chad,
time.
And next, more from James Comer, where he says, from all the evidence that I've seen, Trump has been exonerated for a long time. Okay, well, what evidence have you seen? Because you're seeing a different files, apparently, than we're all seeing, or you're just a liar, which is what is happening. We've all seen the accusations against Donald Trump in the files. We've seen the 38,000 references to him in the files that have been produced by the Department of Justice. We also know that there may be as much as 1 million references to him in the files that haven't been produced. Why don't you produce all of those? We know that there are FBI 302 witness statements that are being covered up, including, we believe, someone who accused Donald Trump of sexual assault as a minor, just an accusation. But why is Donald Trump covering that up and not producing that FBI 302 report? Why don't you produce those 302 reports? And then setting aside the files, Donald Trump is on audio saying that he grabs women by their vaginas. He's